Welcome to the Prescott Lab Podcast, not just theory, practical science for everyone. I'm Dr. Jonathan Prescott, a physician and integrative medicine researcher at the Ravenshade Institute for Human Health. Let me paint you a scene you might know all too well. It's early. The kind of early where the sun's just starting to tease the blinds, where the house is quiet except for the hum of the fridge in the kitchen. You roll over, stretch, and for a moment you remember how mornings used to feel. That easy, unshakable confidence in your body, that quiet, solid signal that told you without words you're still a man in full. But lately, the mornings feel different, not bad, just empty. You tell yourself it's nothing. You're older now and older men slow down. But somewhere deep inside, a small voice whispers, what if this isn't just age? What if my body's trying to tell me something? Here's the truth most men never hear from their doctors. Losing your morning erection isn't just about sex. It's about your blood vessels, your circulation, your heart, your brain. It's a message in neon your body's flashing at you before something bigger breaks. And if you catch it now, you can fix it, not just for the bedroom, but for the rest of your life. Before we get into the science of how to bring it back, and yes, there is a way, I want to ask you for something simple. If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening right now thinking, yeah, this is the stuff men like me need to hear more of, hit that like button too. Every single like is fuel. It's the spark that tells us to keep showing up here with new episodes, new solutions, and more of the real talk you can actually use. Because here we don't dance around the truth, we face it head on. And in just a few minutes, I'm going to take you inside the exact reason morning wood disappears after 60. And why that reason is not inevitable, not irreversible, and not the end of your story. Why morning erections matter for your health. I've had men in their 60s, 70s, even their 80s sit in my office and lean in like they're confessing a crime. Doc, I haven't had one in years. Is that normal? They say it quietly, almost ashamed, as if the absence of a morning erection is something to hide. But here's what I tell them every time. It's not just a sign of your sex life. It's a sign of your life, period. When you were younger, those morning erections were effortless. No planning, no worrying, no wondering if today would be different. It was your body's way of saying the pipes are clear, the wiring's good, the engine's firing. What most men don't realize is that this automatic signal is a direct reflection of your circulatory system. The blood flow that fills your penis is the exact same blood flow that keeps your heart strong, your brain sharp, and your energy steady. If that signal starts to fade, it's not because you suddenly became less of a man. It's because your smallest, most delicate blood vessels are struggling long before the big ones show signs of trouble. And here's the sobering part. The arteries to your penis are like the canary in the coal mine. They're smaller, narrower, and they take the hit first when blood vessel health starts to slip. In fact, some studies show that trouble down there can show up years before heart disease, memory decline, or a major cardiovascular event ever makes itself known. So when a man tells me he's lost his morning wood, I don't just think about testosterone or intimacy. I think about his heart, his brain, and his future. Getting it back isn't about chasing youth. It's about restoring the vital systems that keep you alive and thriving. And once you understand what's really behind its disappearance, you'll see why just getting older has a lot less to do with it than you've been told. Something else is at work, and knowing what it is changes everything. The real reason morning wood disappears after 60. Most men I meet blame it on the calendar. Doc, I'm just getting older, that's all. They say it with a shrug, like they've accepted some unspoken law of nature, that once the birthdays pile up, certain parts of the machinery simply stop working. But that's not the whole truth. In fact, in my decades of treating men's health, I've found there's almost always a culprit hiding in plain sight, a slow, silent process called endothelial dysfunction. Now, I don't expect you to drop that term into your next poker night conversation, but here's what it means in plain English. The endothelium is the whisper-thin lining inside every single blood vessel in your body. When you were 25, that lining was like freshly waxed glass, smooth, responsive, and constantly producing nitric oxide, the natural chemical that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide. That's the green light for blood to surge where it needs to go, whether it's your brain, your heart, or yes, your penis. But decades of life leave their fingerprints. High blood pressure scuffs it, a poor diet scratches it, inactivity lets it stiffen. Even some of the medications meant to help you can wear it down. Slowly, that slick, responsive surface turns rough. Nitric oxide production drops. The vessels get less flexible. And because the arteries to the penis are smaller than the ones feeding your heart, they're the first to feel the squeeze. You could still be walking around thinking your circulation is fine, but the smallest gauge in your body is already flashing red. It's the early chapter of a story that, if left unchecked, can end in bigger, more dangerous plot twists. The good news: this isn't a one-way street. When you restore the health of those blood vessels and revive nitric oxide production, you can often bring back what you thought was gone for good. But here's where a lot of men take the wrong turn. They reach for the quick fix and then wonder why it stops working. 3Y pills alone don't solve the problem. I've seen the same scene play out hundreds of times. A man walks into my office, shoulders slumped, prescription bottle in hand. He puts it on my desk like it's evidence in a case he's already lost. "Doc, it worked at first, now almost nothing." It's not just frustration in his voice, it's defeat, the quiet kind that eats at a man's pride. Here's the truth most men don't get told: pills like Viagra or Cialis aren't magic. They don't create an erection out of thin air. They work by amplifying a signal your body is already sending. If that signal is strong, they can make it stronger. But if it's weak, if your nitric oxide levels are low and your blood vessels are damaged, they're just turning up the volume on static. Think of it like an old garden hose that's cracked and stiff from years in the sun. You can crank the water pressure as high as you want, but if the hose is damaged, the flow will never be steady. In fact, the more you force it, the more likely it is to spring a leak. I remember Alan, 68, who came to me after upping his dose twice in 6 months. "Doc, I'm getting the headaches, the flushing, but not the results." That's the trap: chasing higher doses when the foundation itself is crumbling. Pills can be a tool, yes, but they are not a rebuild. They can't repair the delicate lining of your vessels or restore the nitric oxide that opens them. And here's the kicker: if you never fix the foundation, you'll always be dependent on something that gives you less and less over time. That's why the smarter move isn't to push harder, it's to work smarter. To rebuild the vessel health so the signal is strong again naturally. And that's exactly where the real breakthrough begins, not in the middle of the day, but while you're asleep. For the science behind the Bedtime supplement. When I first started recommending this to my patients, I could see it in their eyes, the skepticism. They tried the blue pills, the herbal blends from late-night TV, the miracle powders in shiny tubs. They'd spent money, hope, and time, and all they had to show for it was a drawer full of half-empty bottles. So when I told them the solution wasn't about forcing an erection, but feeding their body the raw materials to make one naturally, most leaned back in their chair and said, "All right, doc, convince me. Here's how it works." The key players are 2 amino acids, L-arginine and L-citrulline. Your body already knows them. In fact, it uses them to make nitric oxide, the very master key that unlocks your blood vessels, telling them to relax and open so blood can flow where it's needed. Think of nitric oxide as the night crew in a workshop. During the day, everything's busy, moving under strain. But at night, while you sleep, the crew comes in, fixes the machinery, oils the gears, and clears the pathways. That's when your body is in peak repair mode. Your cells rebuild. Your testosterone levels peak in the early morning hours. Your blood vessels have a chance to recover from the wear and tear of the day. By taking this supplement before you go to bed, you're stocking the workshop with the exact materials it needs, right when the repair crew is on duty. You're not forcing the engine to roar, you're tuning it so when morning comes, it's ready to start on the first turn of the key. And here's something my patients love to hear: when you boost nitric oxide and restore vessel health, the benefits spill over into every corner of your body. Which is why the changes you notice might go far beyond the bedroom. 5. What else this supplement can do for men over 60. Most men start this journey for one reason: they want their mornings back. But what they often don't expect is everything else they get along the way. I'll never forget Jim, a 67-year-old retired firefighter who came to see me. "Doc," he said, "I'm not here to run marathons. I just want to wake up feeling like a man again." We started him on the supplement, paired with a few simple lifestyle tweaks. 3 months later, he sat in the same chair, but the man in front of me was different. "Yeah, I'm waking up harder," he grinned, "but here's the weird part: my hands aren't freezing anymore. I can climb the stairs without getting winded. I'm thinking sharper at poker night. My wife says I look lighter." That's the beauty of improving nitric oxide levels and restoring blood vessel health. It doesn't just help one part of you. Better blood flow touches every system in your body. Your heart works with less strain. Your legs feel stronger under you. Your brain feels more awake. Even your mood lifts, because when your body is delivering oxygen-rich blood everywhere it needs to go, you don't just function better, you feel better. And here's a bonus many men don't see coming: sharper memory and clearer thinking. Your brain is a greedy organ. It demands constant, rich blood flow. When it gets what it needs, you remember names, follow conversations, and stay quick on your feet in ways you thought were behind you. So while most men arrive chasing one victory, they often leave with a whole string of them. And if you want to multiply those results, there's a way to stack the deck in your favor every single day, no matter your age. 6 lifestyle habits that supercharge the results. I tell my patients all the time, taking the supplement is like planting seeds in the richest soil you can find. But even the best seeds won't sprout if you never water them, never let the sun hit them, and let weeds grow wild. If you want those seeds to grow into something strong, you've got to tend the garden. One of the simplest watering cans you can give your body is walking. Not a race. Not a punishment, just 20 to 30 minutes of steady, comfortable movement every day. I've had patients who started walking to help with their erections and ended up dropping 15 pounds, sleeping better, and feeling lighter on their feet. One even told me, "Doc, I used to walk to the mailbox and back. Now I do 2 laps around the park before breakfast." Next, feed the system with the right fuel. Add nitrate-rich vegetables like spinach, beets, and arugula to your meals. They're like sending reinforcements straight to your blood vessels. And protect that vessel lining by cutting back on processed sugar. It's like sandpaper on a delicate surface. You don't have to live like a monk, just make smarter swaps. Then remind your muscles they're still in the game. Twice a week, do some light strength work, push-ups, dumbbells, resistance bands. Nothing crazy, just enough to tell your body we still need you. The stronger muscles support higher testosterone, and that's a game changer when paired with better circulation. Finally, guard your sleep like it's gold. 7 hours minimum, no excuses. That's when your body hits repair mode, your testosterone peaks, and your blood vessels get their nightly tune-up. Skip it, and you're robbing yourself of the very foundation you're trying to rebuild. These aren't gimmicks. They're the quiet, consistent habits that take what the supplement is doing for you and multiply it. And when you stack these wins, you create momentum that's hard to break and even harder to ignore. And if you're wondering when all of this will start to show, the answer might come sooner than you think. 7. How long until you see results? Almost every man who sits in my office leans forward at some point and asks the same thing. "Doc, how long before I know it's working?" They don't just mean physically, they mean when will I feel like myself again? Here's what I've seen time and time again. For most men, the first changes are subtle. They slip in quietly, often within 2 to 3 weeks. One morning you wake up and there's a little more fullness, a little more weight, like your body's running a systems check before fully firing the engine. Some men notice it in the middle of the day, more stamina walking upstairs, less afternoon fog, a bit more patience with life's little annoyances. By week 4 or 5, those changes start stacking. The blood vessels are opening more easily, nitric oxide levels are climbing, and your circulation is starting to behave like it remembers how to be young. You might not be back to where you want yet, but you know you're on the way. Then comes the sweet spot, around weeks 8 to 12. This is when the combination of restored vessel health, boosted nitric oxide, and those lifestyle habits you've been building all start to converge. Erections aren't just showing up more often, they're firmer, more reliable, and maybe for the first time in years, they arrive in the morning without you even thinking about it. Now, every man's timeline is his own. Age, health, consistency, they all play a role. But here's the real surprise. The physical changes are just the start. Somewhere in this window, you catch yourself feeling different inside. You notice your shoulders are back when you walk into a room. You catch your reflection, and there's a spark in your eyes you haven't seen in a while. That shift inside your head, inside your confidence, that's when you realize this isn't just about one part of your body working again. It's about you working again. And once that happens, the question stops being how long will it take and becomes what else can I reclaim? 8. Why this matters emotionally. Most men start this journey thinking it's all about the mechanics. They imagine the end goal as simply getting it up again. But somewhere along the road, they realize the truth. This is as much about who they are as it is about what their body can do. I think about Robert, 72, widower, ex-Navy. When he first came in, he sat stiff in the chair, shoulders slightly hunched, eyes scanning the floor. "Doc," he said, "I just don't feel like me anymore." He wasn't talking about romance. He was talking about identity, the quiet erosion of confidence that happens when a part of your life you've always taken for granted slips away. 3 months later, Robert walked into my office a different man. His handshake was firmer. His eyes met mine without flinching. It's not just that it's working, he told me, it's that I know it will work. I'm not second-guessing myself anymore. That's the piece most men never expect, the return of presence. When you know your body will respond, your mind stops bracing for failure. You stop overthinking, you carry yourself differently. Your partner sees it, feels it, and responds to it. Conversations shift. Small touches mean more. The air in the room feels different. It's like someone flipped a switch inside you, not just in your body, but in your head. You stop walking through life like you're trying not to be noticed. And you start stepping into rooms like you belong there. And here's the beautiful part. This emotional shift often fuels the physical one. Confidence changes your posture, your energy, your willingness to engage. It becomes a cycle of momentum. The better you feel, the better you perform, and the better you perform, the better you feel. Which leaves you with a choice. You can keep watching from the sidelines, letting time keep writing your story, or you can take the pen back and decide how the next chapter is going to read. 9. My final advice. If there's one thing you take from everything we've just talked about, let it be this. Losing your morning erections is not a harmless sign of age. It's the smoke before the fire. It's your body leaning in and whispering, something's wrong, fix it now before it's too late. I think about Frank, 74, retired carpenter. When he first came to see me, he said, "Doc, it's not just about the bedroom, it's about feeling like I'm fading." We ran his tests, started the supplement, adjusted his habits. 3 months later, he walked in with a spring in his step and told me, "I didn't just get my mornings back, I got my life back." That's the reality. This isn't just about erections. It's about blood flow to your heart, oxygen to your brain, energy in your muscles, and confidence in your stride. When those small blood vessels in your penis stop working, it's a sign the rest of your circulation is next in line. So here's my advice. Start tonight. Take the supplement before bed. Make that 20-minute walk part of your day. Fill your plate with nitrate-rich vegetables. Guard your sleep like it's your most valuable asset. Do it not just for the man you are now, but for the man you still want to be 5, 10, 20 years from today. Don't let someday steal another morning from you. Tonight is the first night of the rest of your life. Treat it like it matters. 10. Conclusion. This isn't just about the bedroom. It's about your heart, your brain, your life. When you wake up with that natural morning firmness, it's more than a sign of desire. It's proof your body is firing on all cylinders. And every morning you get that back is another day you live with strength, clarity, and confidence. Too many men wait until something breaks. Too many wish they had started sooner. You don't have to be one of them. You can take control before the crisis. You can make the decision right now that the rest of your life will be lived on your terms. If this resonated with you, if even one part of this conversation made you stop and think, then don't just click away. Hit that like button, not for me, but for the men out there who need this message but haven't heard it yet. Every like tells the algorithm, this matters, show it to more men. Subscribe so you never miss the next talk that could save your health, your confidence, maybe even your life. And share this with a man you care about, because one conversation can change everything. You're not too old, you're not out of time, and you're damn sure not broken. You've just been waiting for the right signal to act. Gentlemen, this is it.